Hey, Fringe listeners, we're sharing a favorite episode of the Voicemails with Rachel podcast today. Rachel is a podcast genius, and these short, sweet episodes are clutch. Make listening to Voicemails with Rachel a habit. You'll see why I say that.
Rachel Downey.
Lindsey Groepper is the president of BLASTmedia, which is a PR agency dedicated to SaaS, and they are the best. She's also the podcast host of the show SaaS Half Full. I reached out to Lindsey because she has an incredible way of showing up. She's just like what we would call at Sherry Genius, a straight baddie. And I asked her very candidly, I said, look, you show up so confident in every interaction. I have to imagine every once in a while or at some point in your career, you felt intimidated in one way, shape, or form. How did you deal with that so that you could actually show up as the baddie you always do? Here's her answer.
Please record your message.
Girl, we were just texting. You straight up sent me to voicemail. Whatever. I will leave this as a voicemail for you. I appreciate you saying that I seem like a confident person. I do have a pretty good sense of self and confidence, and I literally just spent a weekend with my dad alone, which hasn't happened in a long time, and I do give him and my mom a lot of credit in that. I was a sort of high praise environment growing up. Even when they put me in situations and I failed, they would praise me for the effort, so I do feel like that had a big part to do with it. However, there are certainly situations where I walk in and feel like the dumbest person in the room, or I'm intimidated because I'm like, I don't belong here. Part of that sort of imposter syndrome. That absolutely happens. So in those situations, I have to remind myself why I'm there. How did I end up there? Why did I get the invite? Do I really deserve to be there? And the answer is always yes. So first I'm like, okay, I'm here for a reason, and this is why. And then I remind myself of all of the things that I'm going to know more about than the people in the room. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but then I find myself to be certainly more knowledgeable in certain areas, such as leadership and growing teams and public relations and marketing, raising a family, all the things. So knowing that there are areas that I can offer more expert advice and opinion and education on than the other people, and leaning into that when I can. But a little hacky thing that I do in those situations as well, when you actually start to talk to people, is just ask them questions. People genuinely like to talk about themselves most of the time. So you can really get through any situation in which you feel intimidated by simply asking people questions about themselves and saying things like, tell me more about that. That's interesting. I've never heard of that before. Can you unpack that for me? Where did you go to school? Why did you choose it? How did you get in the field that you were in? You can typically get through any situation just by asking people to talk about themselves. All right, well, I've rambled long enough, so I'm going to end this voicemail. Text me back if you have any questions.
Do you have a question that you'd love me to find the answer to? Click the link in the show notes and leave me your voicemail, and I'll chase down an answer.